Hello everyone, my name is Sal DeLuca, Product Manager with Allied Machine and Engineering, and we're here today to discuss the AccuPort 432, which is the most efficient way to manufacture a hydraulic port. So today, if you are interested in setting up a demo with your local Allied FSE, you can visit us at www.alliedmachine.com/port to request a tooling consultation. It will also get you a free hoodie, and then we'll enter you in for an opportunity to win a AccuPort kit. So again, today we are going to discuss the AccuPort 432 product. We're going to do a little bit of conversation just to discuss what the tool is, and then we'll do some live demos with Mr. Brown. Then I'll come back and say my goodbyes, and hopefully you'll be able to leave here with a little bit more information on how to make your processes more efficient. So we'll go ahead and jump right into this. So the AccuPort 432, the real big benefit of this tool, it brings 4 operations into one. It's your spot drill, your tap drill, your port contour, as well as your spot face. So it really increases your productivity by eliminating all those additional tooling that you would have in a magazine, as well as just the cycle time of going in and out with those operations down to 1. We do have a number of port options that are available to really kind of cover a lot of bases. The big benefits of the AccuPort product is it reduces your tooling, obviously. There are no reasons for regrind. These are all indexable, so replaceable inserts for both the pilot drill as well as the port form and spot face. We don't have to worry about size loss on regrinds or compensations if you're milling it out. So really just overall a massive benefit. And then when you combine that with the wide variety of pilot options that you have, as well as the carbide substrate options and coating combinations that are available on the port form contours, the tool life is just phenomenal. Truly, you're going to be hard pressed to find anything better, at least according to us. So the specifications available are the J1926, I6149, AS5202, and the JDS G1731, and those are also the beginning of all of the port holder item numbers. So if you're looking at an item number, it's going to be, again, the J1926, I6149, AS5202, or the G1731. The remainder of the item number, we use the port tube size, so 04 for the 4-port, or 32 going up bigger, and then the pilot series. So 04Y would be your -4 port with a Y series pilot. Pretty straightforward on that. The shank configuration, and this is an important one because this is a precision cut, so we do only offer these shanks with a cylindrical shank, and that would be utilized preferably in a hydraulic chuck or a milling chuck, and really it's just to maximize rigidity and make sure that there isn't any movement or TIR that would cause the ports to be out of specification on that seal angle, which is critical. And then as far as the port form inserts themselves, you've got a number of different substrate options. So the IC or the inserts start off with, again, that port, so J1926, I6149, and then a number that if it doesn't directly correlate to the tube size, but essentially the port insert number. And then from there, it would go into your carbide combination, whether it be C5 or C3. C5 you're going to use in most of your ferrous applications. C3 is going to be utilized in your non-ferrous applications. And then the coatings available, we have AM200, which is the stock coating for your ferrous. We have TiALN, which is your stock coating for your non-ferrous. And then tin is available in some sizes for some of the aluminum manufacturing. If you're fighting built-up edge, you have that option available to you as just another solution to help increase productivity and extend tool life. As far as pilot inserts are concerned, you've got the full breadth of the TA product. So you've got the option of the brand new TA Pro. Those pilot inserts can be used in the AccuPorts in the 6 and above tube sizes. And then with Gen 2 and original TA, it covers the full lineup for the 4 through 32 ports. So you've got a wide variety of high-speed steel or carbide substrates, coating combinations, the myriad of geometries that are available. What we'll be doing today is utilizing the brand new TA Pro carbide in both of these operations. Just showing off some of the increased penetration rate that you can get out of that pilot as well. So really tons of benefit from having such a wide variety of options to really be able to dial in your processes and increase your productivity. So right now, what we're gonna go ahead and do is we are gonna turn it over to Mr. Brown, who's gonna run some of these demos live. We will be doing the port tools. I think we're gonna do some iron and some steel today, and then we're gonna thread mill to finish them. We've got a J514 plug to show you that it does fit. And again, all of that does come included in the AccuPort kits. So essentially you end up with a free thread mill. So it's got the AccuPort holder body, pilot inserts, port form inserts, and a thread mill. Basically you buy the kit and you can finish any port that you've got on your drawing that you need to cut to specification. So, Mr. Brown.
All right, so hello everybody. My name's Rob Brown. I'm the engineering trainer here at Allied Machine and Engineering. And we're gonna run a couple of demos for you today. We actually have a couple of AccuPort tools to run. Just to give you a little background on the machine before we get started here, it is a Haas VF3 vertical machining center that's a 30 horsepower spindle. Maximum RPM on this machine is 7,500 RPM. The coolant situation with it is around water soluble coolant, and we do use a chip blaster coolant pump. So we have the capacity to do up to 1,000 PSI and 20 gallons a minute. But for these demos, we have it set at 300 PSI going through the tool. And when we run the thread mills, we're gonna just do a flood from the outside. So what we're gonna do today, we're gonna start with a number 16 tube size port, which is about midway through the range because our AccuPort range is a number 4 through a number 32. So a 16's pretty much in the middle there. It's a decent sized port. We're gonna run it with an X Geometry TA Pro pilot in it. So that would be our high-speed steel pilot. And we're running in gray cast iron. It's about 200 Bernal in hardness. Speeds and feeds, we'll go over that in just a second. But on top of that, we're actually going to come in and we're going to go ahead and thread mill this hole as well. Because as Sal pointed out with the AccuPort kits that we have available, not only do you get the AccuPort tool for doing the drilling part of it, but you also get a thread mill so you can go in and do the threading part of it as well. So at the end of that process, basically you've got a finished port. So it's a great time saver for you. But to kind of go over the details of the application, the pilot diameter is a 1.236 diameter. It's a 31.4 millimeter pilot. We're going to be running at 145 surface feet, which is about 44 meters a minute. Feed rate at 12 thou per rev, which is about 0.3 millimeters per revolution. Using a number 16 port tool size, which is a number 2 TA in the pilot of it. And we will be running that first, and then we'll come in with the thread mill. And the thread mill part of this, I want to say for the gray iron, it's a 2-pass program. Is that right? 2 passes is what we'll be doing it in. So we'll show that to you as well, and we'll go over the thread mill right before we go and run that. But we're going to start off running the TA Pro X Geometry, which is the high-speed steel insert, in a number 16 tube size in gray cast iron, about 200 Bernal. So Dave, if you're ready. Once again, the speed and feed we're going to be running is 145 surface feet per minute, 12 thou per rev, which is 44 meters per minute, about 0.3 millimeters per rev. The depth that we're going is going to be very shallow. It's about an inch deep, pretty close to that. And this will go pretty quickly. So the load that we're running on this looks like about 30%. Now whenever it comes down to touch the spot face and the port form inserts, that load's going to go up. It went up to about 45%. So we're going to gather up a couple of chips and take a look at those. And yeah, why don't you go ahead and grab me a couple of chips. We'll take a look at those first. Grab a napkin here. And obviously we're in gray cast iron, so chip form isn't going to be a problem, but we'll just show you what we got here. Just to kind of, let's take a quick look at that while we're getting ready to do the thread milling part of this. So looking underneath here, there we go. You can see, once again, gray cast iron, discontinuous chip forming material. So obviously I can just go like this so I can get it to break into smaller pieces. It doesn't take much to get it to break. It's nice, small, you know, basically like little needles, which is just fine. Once again, we don't expect any kind of problems with gray cast iron, but just to show you that we do get a decent chip with it. And whenever we come in with the spot face, it's going to make a little bit of a bigger chip, wider anyway, and gray cast iron is still going to be discontinuous. Okay, so when we come in with the thread mill, the thread size we're going to do with this is an 1 5/16" 12 UN thread, which is the standard size for a number 16 port form. Once again, whenever you're looking at the kit, that's the standard size that would come along with that kit. And it comes with everything you need in order to create the entire thing. So Dave, if you're ready to go, let's go ahead and run it. While he's getting ready to do that, the thread mill is an AccuPort specific thread mill. That's a TM-AK, I believe. So it's got that AM210 coating on it. So we're going to get a nice high RPM out of this. We're going to be running 575 surface feet per minute, and the feed per tooth is 1.5, which comes out to 175 meters a minute. 0.04 millimeters per tooth feed rate. Okay, now once again, this is going to do a two-pass cycle. So it goes through and it's going to rough. Now it's going to come in and do the finish pass on it. Then whenever that's done, we'll have Dave take the part out. We'll take a look at it and see what it looks like. You can tell it's nice and quiet. And basically, in the amount of time that we've been talking here, that's now done. Thread mill comes out. This is basically a finished port form. Whenever we take it out, the only thing I would need to do to it now is to drill the through hole for it to go into the feeder for the manifold or whatever it is that we're doing here. So we'll get Dave to take the part out of the machine. We'll take a look at it real quick underneath the camera here. And take a look at what it looks like. Ready, Dave? Almost. Good enough, Chief. Thank you. So let's take a look at what we got here. So once again, this is gray cast iron that is roughly about 200 Bernal. So you can see we created the entire port form. Now this port form is to finish specification, so that wasn't a rougher, that was a finisher. And we were able to do that all in one operation. Okay, so we came in and we did the drill, we did the port form, the spot face. That's what we did with the AccuPort tool. And this isn't the right size, but you can kind of get the idea for what it's doing here. So drill, port form, spot face, all in one operation. Then we come in with the thread mill, did that as a two-pass program. You see those threads look really nice. And if I had a fitting here, I could go ahead and thread it together. Once again, the only thing missing would be the hole going through the bottom that would match up. Since we don't know where that's going to go, you know, how deep it needs to be and whatnot, that's going to be a secondary operation. Once again, that was done using a TA Pro X geometry insert in the pilot of it. So that's what we did there. So as Dave's getting ready to get ready for the second application we're going to run. So we did a number 16 tube size with the gray cast iron. What we're going to do for the second demo is we're going to run a number 8 tube size. These are J1926, by the way. I think Sal might have pointed out to you that we have 4 different port form specifications that we adhere to. We have J1926, I6149, which the difference between those two is just the J1926 has an inch thread, I6149 is metric. We also have the AS5202, which is the mil spec. It's generally used a lot in aerospace applications. And then finally, we have a John Deere specific specification, which is very similar to the I6149, except it's got some little tweaks that are specific to the John Deere specification. So, going back to what we're going to do here, this is still J1926. This is an 08 tube size, so this is going to be a smaller one than what we did just a minute ago. So the pilot on this is about 17.5 millimeters, 11/16, so a little over that. Okay, and the speed and feed we're going to run is 340 surface feet per minute, 7 thou per rev, which is 103 meters a minute, 0.18 millimeters per revolution. The pilot drill on this one is, once again, it's a TA Pro, but this is using the P geometry, so this one's going to be carbide, not high-speed steel, so we can run at a higher speed than what we could with the high-speed steel version we ran just a minute ago. So we're going to go in and create this. Once again, this is only going about roughly an inch deep, maybe a little bit less than that. Okay, so 340 surface feet, 7 thou per rev, 103 meters a minute, 0.18 millimeters per revolution, using a TA Pro P geometry pilot. Dave, if you're ready, let's go ahead and run this. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do this, and then whenever we're done with that, we'll come in with the AccuThread specific thread mill and go ahead and thread this out, and we'll talk about that when the time comes. So this is going to come down, and it creates the AccuPort form. The load on it is spiked up to 64. What was it at the beginning of that, Dave? About 30? Somewhere in that neighborhood. So we're going to get a hold of a couple of chips again for you real quick, and then we're going to swap this over to the thread mill application and run it real quick. Good enough, boss. Just give me what you got. There we go. So the material, 4150 alloy steel, 28 to 32 Rockwell. So chip form for this is going to be just fine. You know, we did get standard chip form. This is what you would expect to see with the TA Pro. The AccuPort thread mill, or the AccuPort spot face, is going to make a little bit of a wider cut on it because, you know, you've got a longer surface here that we're going to have to cut. But it's going to be just fine. So what we're going to do for the thread mill for this, the size of this thread mill is going to be a 3/4 inch 16 UN thread for the thread mill. We're going to be running it at 400 surface feet per minute, 13 tenths per tooth, or 0.0013 per tooth feed rate. In metric, that is about 122 meters a minute. Feed rate is 0.03 millimeters per tooth feed rate. Once again, using a TMAK AccuPort specific thread mill, and we're going to go ahead and thread this part out. This, I believe, is a 3-pass program. Is that right, Dave, or is it 2? It's a 3-pass program in order to create this one. Because once again, with this harder material, we're going to take a little bit of a softer cut on it to try to minimize the amount of deflection that we get out of that thread mill. So Dave, if you're ready, go ahead and hit the magic go button, and let's see what happens here. So once again, the thread size we're going to make is a 3/4 16. Okay, speed and feed is 400 surface feet a minute, a little over 1,000 per tooth feed rate, which is about 122 meters a minute, 0.03 millimeters per tooth, a 3-pass program using that AccuPort specific thread mill. Now once again, like I said before a couple of minutes ago, with the AccuPort kit, you would get this thread mill, would be part of the deal. So whenever it's done, your thread or your port is actually complete. All you got to do is that connector hole that you would need to put in there, and you're good to go. So this is a great time saver for anyone doing this type of manufacturing work, because of the fact, instead of going and doing a roughing and a finish operation and then come in and do your threading work, you're going to do that roughing and finishing all in one operation. So it goes really quickly. Okay, so there's the hole is threaded already. So once again, that was a 3-pass program. And once Dave gets that cleaned off and hands it to me, I actually do have a number 8 connector that I can put on there and show you how that threads together once we show you the quality of it. Okay. Wipe her down, hand her over. All right, sir. Thank you. So here we go. Once again, 4150, 28 to 32 Rockwell. This is a number 8 J1926 tube size. Okay. So you can see the quality of the spot face is very good. It looks really nice. Okay. And if we look at the threads and kind of move it up here so you can see it, the quality of those threads is really nice as well. Okay. Now to show you that this thing actually does make a functional part at the end of it, let's go ahead and thread this together. See if I can get it to start for me. There we go. So we thread the connector on there, seal it off. Okay, and you can see like the O-ring goes down inside that that formed area that's created for the O-ring to create your seal. And what we have there is a finished part, so it threads together quite nicely. So there we go. That's our demos for today for this application. So we're going to bring Sal back in to kind of wrap things up, and hopefully it's been good for you. Sal, come on back.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. Hopefully you were able to learn a little bit more about the AccuPort product. If you are interested in getting a tooling consultation, again, please visit us at the link www.alliedmachine.com/port. Again, just submitting for the tooling consultation will get you that free zip-up hoodie, and it will also enter you in for a chance to win your own free AccuPort kit. Thank you for your time, and please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos like this.